Action. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us begin our week 4 of the class. So we had covered various things about extrinsic semiconductors in the last class. Now let us talk about something called as compensated semiconductors. What is compensated semiconductors? The semiconductors in which we have both kinds of doping. Both N and P type of doping is present in your semiconductor. Okay, so you have both Na and Nd. A stands for acceptor and D stands for donor. You have both kinds of dopants present in your semiconductor, which is usually the case. Okay, almost never do you have only one kind of dopants. Okay, you always have two kinds of dopants present. Acceptors and donors almost always. Okay, that is the way. We'll go into why that is later on, but let us assume that we have both kinds of dopants. Then how will we find out the value of N0 and P0? That is the question. Okay, so let us look at a basic principle called as charge neutrality. Okay, our semiconductor was initially neutral. Okay, after all the doping also it will stay neutral because we have not added any external charge into it. Okay, so this charge neutrality should still hold. So what are the positive charges present in your semiconductor? Anybody? What are the positive charges in your semiconductor?
Holes
Holes. Okay,
and
so
and
so you have
donors
P0. Okay,
and
that is
donor
your,
ions.
and
Donor ions. Right.
I can't
Donor
hear. You
ions.
can donor ions.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so we have our holes and donor ions. Why is donor ions? Because donor ions give up electron and themselves become positively charged. Okay, so you have Nd and positively charged donor ions. Okay, Nd plus. So that is your positive charge. All the positive charges. What about the negative charges? What are the negative charges that you have? Anybody?
Electrons and acceptor and
Yes. So we have N0 is your electrons and Na minus, the acceptors accept electrons and become negatively charged. So you have, these are your negative charges, these are your positive charges. Net charge should be equal to 0. Okay. The total number of positive charges minus the total number of negative charges should be 0. Okay. What other relation do we have between N0 and P0? What other relation do we have?
N0 into P0 equal to Ni square.
Yeah, N0 P0 is equal to Ni squared. Okay, so using these two relations, you can find out the value of N0 as a function of Na minus and Nd plus. Okay, so let us do that. So you have in this equation, you have P0. Let us replace the P0 by Ni squared by N0. So Ni squared by N0 plus Nd plus minus N0 minus Na minus is equal to 0. So you will get a quadratic equation in N0. So that implies N0 squared plus Na minus minus Nd plus into N0 plus Ni squared is equal to, not plus, minus. Is that okay? Now please solve this quadratic equation. Please solve this quadratic equation and find out the value of n0. So n0 is going to be minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. What is the value of a? Let us write down the denominator first. What is the value of a here in a normal quadratic equation? What is the value of a?
1.
1. Okay, so 2a. So you will get a denominator of 2, and so b square minus b. So nd plus minus na minus, that is your minus b, plus minus b square minus 4ac. So a is 1, c is minus ni squared. Okay, so you have b square is na plus, sorry, nd plus minus na minus whole square minus 4ac, minus, you already have a minus sign over here, so it becomes plus 4 times ac. Is that okay? So now you have two possible values of n0. Now let us see which of these two values is not really valid. Okay, you have two possible values of n0 mathematically, but which of these two is physically not valid? Is there any value out of those two values? Is there any value that is not physically valid? Anybody? So you have two values, one corresponding to the plus sign, one corresponding to the minus sign.
Minus sign is not valid.
Minus sign is not valid because we're talking about number of actual particles. So if you look at this, this quantity is always smaller than the quantity which is inside your square root. Okay, this quantity will always be smaller than the quantity in your square root. So this whole thing is always larger than this. So this minus this will give you a negative quantity, which is not possible. Okay, so the only possible value that you have physically, mathematically you have two possible values, but physically you have only one single possible value for n0, that is with the plus sign in this quadratic roots. Okay, so that is the value of n0. What about p0? p0 में क्या आएगा? If I were to solve for p0, what will I get? You can do it. I'm not going to do it for now. Means I'm not going to fully solve it. But if you want, you could do it ni squared by n0, or you could solve this equation again. So if you do that, you are going to get na minus minus nd plus plus square root of na minus minus nd plus square plus 4 ni squared over 2. Okay, this is what you're going to get. Na minus and nd plus have been interchanged, that's all. Okay, that is what it should be anyway. So if you look at it, what is happening here? And n0, now let us assume that nd plus minus na, you have, meaning that you have larger quantity of what? Larger quantity of donors as compared to acceptors. Okay, if you have that situation, then what is going to happen?
N dot greater than P dot.
So n0 will be greater than p0. If nd plus is greater than na minus, then this will be a positive quantity. And let us say that this difference is much larger than ni. Okay, that means you have sufficiently doped your semiconductor, which is normally the case. Okay, you always have one kind of, almost always have one kind of doping which is higher than the other kind of doping. And if you are doping something, it will obviously be much greater than ni. Okay, we'll get into that in a few classes. You'll understand why it will always be greater than ni. But if you dope it less than ni, it is not really that useful. Okay. Why? Because you are not effectively changing. You want your electrons to be larger or holes to be larger. If your doping is smaller than ni, then it is not really very useful, because your effective doping, or both, means effective electron and hole concentration is going to effectively stay the same, because your doping itself is smaller than ni. Okay, so in most cases your this is not an unreasonable assumption that your nd plus minus na minus is a much larger quantity for an n-type semiconductor. Okay, if you have an n-type semiconductor, your Nd plus is much greater than Na minus. Okay, if that is the case, and that this Nd plus is also much greater than Ni. Okay, both the conditions are true. If Nd plus is much greater than Na minus, then you can effectively say that this is Nd plus. Okay, and now I am saying that this is also much greater than Ni. So that means what is going to happen to this Ni quantity for an N-type semiconductor? What is going to happen to this? इसका क्या होगा?
It can be taken to be zero.
हाँ?
Zero, like
This will become
income
negligible
ban-
compared to, if this will become negligible
Yes.
compared to this becomes negligible. So you have square root of this, which is effectively Nd plus minus Na minus. Okay, and you have 2 times that. So effectively your N0 is going to be Nd plus minus Na. Okay, so this is this quantity becomes equal to Nd plus minus Na minus if your Nd plus minus Na minus is much larger than Ni. Okay, this quantity becomes Nd plus minus Na minus if Nd plus minus Na minus is much greater than Ni. Is that okay? Now, if this is also true, that Nd plus is much greater than Na minus, then what is this going to become? N0 will be equal to Nd plus, which is usually the case. Okay, so let us do an example so that you understand what we are talking about. I'll hold on for a minute so that this dries out. Anybody has a question? No? Okay. So we have a germanium sample. We are doing example. We have a germanium sample. Okay. And the Ni of germanium is 2.4 into 10 to power 13 per centimeter cube. Okay, that is the Ni of germanium. You have put Nd is 5 into 10 to power 13 per centimeter cube and Na is equal to 0. Okay, please find out the value of N0 and P0. Okay, that is your question. Find out the value of N0 and P0. So can you apply any of the approximations that we applied here? What was the requirement for applying this particular approximation? Anybody?
Sir, is the dopant fully ionized?
Yeah, we'll assume that. Okay, in this case we have not necessarily assumed it, but for now we'll assume that our dopants are fully ionized, which is usually the case for silicon and germanium with phosphorus, arsenic and boron. That is the case at room temperature. Okay, so you can assume as long as the doping is in the degenerate region, you will have full ionization of boron, phosphorus and arsenic, which are the 3 most commonly used dopants for silicon. Okay, so let us assume that our all the dopants, the donors, are ionized. Okay, so what was the condition for this particular approximation? कम ऑन, लिखी हुई है यार बोर्ड पे, कोई तो बोल दो, जिसने आज तक नहीं बोला है वो बोल दो. कोई नहीं. धीरज, ढिल्लो साहब, बोलिए. कहाँ गायब हो गए? गायब हैं पूरे. धीरज, नहीं हो? धीरज, अरे भाई धीरज,
Yes, sir.
बोलो.
Sir,
Did you
let me
understand the
think.
question, or you are not present here?
No, I was present, sir.
Then go ahead and answer the question. Or you want me to repeat the question?
Would you please repeat it once?
Yeah, the question is, will this approximation be valid over in this particular question? This approximation that n0 is equal to nd plus minus na minus. Is this approximation going to be valid? What is the
Yes,
what is the
sir.
requirement for this approximation?
So I don't think so, sir. I guess no.
Why not?
Mm,
एक जने ने फीडबैक में लिखा था कि आई प्ले फुटबॉल ड्यूरिंग द क्लास एंड आई कीप ऑन वाचिंग द वीडियो. आर यू दैट गाय? Probably not.
no, sir.
So you're not playing football, no, right now?
No, sir. I guess, sir, ND minus NA is not very greater than NI.
Yeah. So ND minus NA minus is not greater, not much larger than NI. It is of comparable magnitude. If you look at it, ND minus NA minus is, if we assume that these are all fully ionized. Okay, let us say that this is ND plus and this becomes your NA minus. This difference is not is comparable to Ni. It is not much larger than Ni, so we cannot apply this particular approximation. If we cannot apply this approximation, then we have to go to this particular original equation. Okay, so if we apply that equation, we'll get the value of n0 as nd plus minus na minus. So 5 into 10 to power 13 plus square root of 5 into 10 to power 13 squared plus 4 times ni squared. Ni is 2.4 into 10 to power 13 squared. Okay, in any case, yes, this is ni. Okay, so if you can't see it, that's no problem. Shouldn't be able to write it on your own. Divided by 2. Okay, so do this calculation and find out the value of n0. So the value of n0, if you do this calculation, is going to be 5.97 into 10 to power 13 per centimeter cube. Okay, and what will be the value of p0? p0 की वैल्यू क्या आएगी? Anybody?
Ni square by n naught.
Yeah, ni squared by n0, which is going to be ni squared is 2.4.
0.96 into 10 to the power 13.
How much?
0.96 into 10 to the power 13.
Okay. 26 divided by 5.97. बेटा नीचे रखो. 10 to power 13. So it comes out to be 9.6 into 10 to power 12 per centimeter cube. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
sir, here NA was 0 initially. So isn't it the case of purely matlab n-doped semiconductor? Purely matlab donor n-type semiconductor?
Yeah, it is. But That is not the
So
only thing that is at play. It is purely n-type semiconductor, but it is also the doping is comparable to your initial intrinsic concentration. Okay, if they are comparable, then you have to apply this particular equation. Okay,
so sir, we cannot say that N naught will be 5 into 10 to the power 13.
no, we cannot. Okay, because see, please understand that when you are adding the dopants, you are not making the previous intrinsic carriers disappear. Please understand that they are not disappearing; they are still present. They are still playing a role. Do you understand?
So sir, when can we apply that equation, like N naught equal to मतलब complete almost equal to ND?
We already written that. See, if this is true, then you can apply this equation.
Yes.
Okay, if this is true, then you can apply this particular equation. And if n0 will be equal to nd plus, if this is true and nd plus is much greater than na minus, these two conditions have to be met for this to be written as this. So when we wrote this previously, we already assumed these two things to be true. Okay, जो हमने
Yes,
पहले
sir,
लिखा
but
था,
हाँ हाँ. तो हमने सर वहाँ पे दो फैक्टर दिए थे ना, वो फर्मी वगैरह वाले जब कंसिडर कर रहे थे. सो मतलब सर वाज दैट मतलब ऑलरेडी उसके अंदर ये सब इंक्लूड हो रहा था.
yeah, this was already assumed, because most of the time that is the case. See, silicon has a constant carrier concentration. The intrinsic carrier concentration of silicon is 10 to the power 10 per centimeter cube, and our doping is almost always greater than 10 to the power 13 or 14 per centimeter cube. Okay, do you understand what I am saying?
Yes sir.
So almost always, at least we can apply this particular equation. Almost always. Okay, this one. Almost always. Okay, the only place where this equation is not valid means when your nd plus is very close to na minus. That is the only place in physical semiconductors where these two becomes comparable to each other. That is where you want to go back to this equation. Okay, other than that, when these two are not comparable, almost always your doping either nd plus is much higher or na minus is much higher. Then either of these this simplified equation can be applied. Okay. Are you able to understand, or are you not clear? Please.
Yes sir. Yes sir, it was.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Hold on a minute. My speaker is battery is gone. Let me charge it. Okay, so let us move forward. Now, if instead of Na minus being 5 into 10 to the power 13 per centimeter cube, if Na minus was, let us say, 4.9 into 10 to the power 13 per centimeter cube. Okay, now let us do this calculation. What will it look like? So you have assumed that now you have two kinds of doping. Previously, if you had only one kind of doping, and because Na minus was 0, Na was 0. So now we have doped it into both the donors as well as acceptors are doped into your semiconductor. So your donor concentration is 5 into 10 to the power 13 per centimeter cube, and acceptor concentration is 4.9 into 10 to the power 13 per centimeter cube. Okay, what will be your carrier concentrations in this case? So this will become what? Instead of 5 into 10 to the power 13, it will be 0.1 into 10 to the power 13. This will be again 0.1 into 10 to the power 13. When you do this, what are you going to get? कितना आएगा ये? करो भाई कोई, मेरे पास इसका कैलकुलेशन नहीं है. What will be the value of n0? किया किसी ने?
2.45 approximately.
2.45.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 2.45 into 10 to power 13 per centimeter cube. Okay. So what will be the value of P0? It will be approximately 2.35. कितना आ रहा
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
2.351.
है? Okay. So you have 2.35. Okay. So the difference between P0 and N0 is effectively is very small. Okay, so it is effectively acting like an intrinsic material rather than a an N-type material, which is expected because your doping of N-type dopants and P-type dopants is effectively practically the same. Okay, so this should act like an intrinsic material. Okay, so when we had previously written down that your N is equal to Nd plus, that assumed these two conditions. Okay, that your Nd plus minus Na minus was much greater than Ni, and your Nd plus was much greater than Na minus. Okay, इससे पहले जो क्वेश्चन पूछा था वो कौन था? Who was it? Rudraksh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in that case, one more thing that we had assumed that your material was only doped with one kind of material, one kind of dopant. Okay, that was already assumed in the previous cases. Whatever we have discussed till now, before today's class, had assumed that we had only one kind of dopant. So this condition was not, the second condition was not even required. Okay, so the only condition was that your dopant concentration is much larger than your intrinsic carrier concentration. Okay?
Sir, here if Na is 0, so it already means that already only one type of dopant is there.
Yeah, that is right.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you please tell physically the significance that if Ni is comparable to Nd,
Yeah.
so that equation will not be valid because I am thinking like Ed and Ec. You said that they are very near, close to each other. So if I'm having large number of NT, so I will try to first fill up my NC using all the NT, and
Okay.
after that, yes, after that I will see the rest of the thing. So I am still getting like in the equation it is clear that Ni, if Ni is comparable, that we cannot do that Nd equal to N naught. But I feel that if ND is like ND will significantly contribute to N naught. How Ni is actually contributing so much? Like I am not getting the physical
Okay.
sense.
So is everybody clear with this? Let me, or I'll erase the right hand side because it's just an example. Okay, I'll erase this.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, in the second example, it is
Yeah.
almost acting like an intrinsic semiconductor. So what is the
Yeah.
point of doping it then?
No. Yeah, you are right. Why would we dope it in this manner? We don't dope it in this manner. It happens that it becomes doped in this manner because in reality, it is not really easy to control many things. Okay, so the way I wanted to go to this particular point later on, but let me. So when you might have heard of the term p-n junction. Okay, a diode. Has everybody heard of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have two types of materials, P and N. Okay, so this particular side is p-type doped, and this particular Rudraksh, I'll come to your question in a moment because this is more relevant to the example that we have done. So I'll just get to you. Okay, I'm not forgetting about you. So you have, so it is very easy to draw on the board कि हमने एक साइड p बना दिया, दूसरी साइड n बना दिया, but ज़िंदगी इतनी आसान नहीं होती. बोर्ड पे या कंप्यूटर पे चीज़ें करना बहुत आसान होता है, but in reality it is much harder to create this p-type and n-type material. So what do we do? It's not कि if you bring your p and n, okay, so you have a small piece of, let me erase this. It does not happen like that. Okay, you have a small piece of p-type material and a small piece of n-type material and you bring them together. That is not how a p-n junction is created, okay, because we are talking about atomic scale. So even if it appears smooth to you on an atomic scale, this is going to appear very, if you look at it on an atomic scale, it is going to appear that you have this kind of, your surfaces have a lot of zigzag pattern to them, okay, they are not that smooth. So even if you were to bring them physically close together, it will not create a p-n junction, okay. Even if it creates a p-n junction, it is not going to be a very good p-n junction, okay, it is going to be a very poor p-n junction, okay. Is that okay? So this is not the way a p-n junction is made, okay. You start almost all of our devices in this today's silicon technology are planar devices, okay. You have a silicon wafer, okay, which has its own thickness, okay. You have a silicon wafer which is thick, let us say about 300 microns, okay, 0.3 millimeters or something like that, okay. That is you have taken a silicon wafer, a thin sheet of silicon, that you start with, let us say you start with an n-type silicon, okay, and you want to create a p-n junction. Now this is an n-type silicon, and all the connections are made from the top, okay, no connection is practically made at the bottom, okay. So we somehow add p-type material over here. We start with an n-type silicon, okay, and we add p-type material, okay. So if we want this to act like a p-type material, what do we want? What should happen? Anybody? Who asked the question?
Sir, me, Tanya.
Tanya, yes, Tanya. If I want this to be a p-type material, what should be the doping over here?
Sir, I'm guessing the amount of p-type dopants should be more than an amount of n-type dopants in that region.
Yeah. So if you want this to be p-type, let us say that the doping here was 10 to power 17, okay. Nd in this region was 10 to power 17 per centimeter cube, okay, and you want the same amount of doping on the p side, okay. So you will add 2 times. So in this region, you will have to do Na is equal to 2 into 10 to power 17 per centimeter cube, okay. You cannot physically remove your Nd, whatever donors you have already put in, you cannot remove them, okay. You can only add more acceptors, okay. So in reality, you almost always have this compensated situation, okay. Both n and p-type materials, p-type dopants are present in almost all parts of a semiconductor except in the lowest region, okay. So in some regions, what is going to happen? Now again, we are assuming that we are doing 2 into 10 to power 17 per centimeter cube everywhere, okay. I am assuming that this whole region is 2 into 10 to power 17 per centimeter cube, but in reality, what is going to happen? Anybody?
It will have different distribution.
Yeah,
over.
it will have its own distribution, okay. In physical life, nothing happens abruptly, okay. So the way we add these dopants is we do something called as ion implantation, okay. So if we want to dope it with p-type material, what do? We create boron positive ions, okay. We create boron positive ions, and then those are, again, we do not have a very good method of accelerating atoms, okay. Ideally, we would want to just implant boron atoms, but in reality, it is not possible. What do? We make our boron atoms into ions. Once we have ions of boron, what do we have? We have control on its what? Anybody?
Movement. We can
Movement
make it
by
flow.
applying an electrical field, okay.
Yes,
If
yes.
you had a pure boron atom, you had to apply some mechanical force for it to move, okay. You did not, and mechanical forces are not really that controllable, okay. You cannot move one single atom very easily, okay. So we create boron ions, and then those can be electrically accelerated with whatever force we want. So when those boron ions are accelerated, again there is going to be some kind of distribution of boron atoms that are present inside your semiconductor throughout, okay. In some places your boron concentration is going to be higher than 2 into 10 to the power 17, in some places it is going to be lower than 2 into 10 to the power 17, and in some places it is going to, so slowly it will become 0. It will not become 0 instantaneously. So at some places inside your material, you will see that the concentration of your boron ions is going to, boron atoms that finally they become atoms, boron atoms is going to be equal to your whatever phosphorus or arsenic you had already put in. Okay, so in that small region, your semiconductor is going to act exactly like an intrinsic material. Is that okay, Tanya? Why do we talk about this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is because of the physical difficulty in making these devices. Okay, there are some physical constraints. That is why we are talking about this scenario, which is not really very useful. Okay, it is acting like an intrinsic material. Why are we talking about this? Because it happens in real life. Yeah, रुद्राक्ष का क्वेश्चन क्या था? रुद्राक्ष का क्वेश्चन था
सर वो एक्चुअली मुझे लग रहा है क्लियर हो गया, मतलब वो ऐसा होगा कि Ni, आप ऐसा कुछ कहना चाहते हैं कि जो मतलब थर्मल वगैरह की वजह से जो होगा लाइक क्रिएशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन, दैट इज कंपैरेटिव जो कि डोपिंग की वजह से होगा, सो वी कैन नॉट इग्नोर दैट कंप्लीटली, तो वो भी ऐड करना पड़ेगा, मतलब सिग्निफिकेंट फैक्टर।
that is the point. Yeah, you cannot get, see, these two phenomena are happening in parallel, so you cannot remove the temperature aspect from it. Okay, that is going to happen anyway. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So now let us move forward and talk about how the Fermi level changes with doping concentration. We have already done it, but let us do a plot. Okay. So now if I were to plot, let us say that this is my EC and EV. Not EC, EV. Yeah, you can see. And on the x-axis, I am plotting my doping. Okay. This is, we are talking about silicon. Let us say 10 to the power 12, 10 to the power 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, this much is enough. Okay, so please understand that these two plots are separate from each other. I'm not when I'm talking on the top side, I'm not worried about the bottom side. Okay, so this is your EI. Now what is going to happen to EF as you increase your carrier concentration? We are only increasing our dopants. So this is ND, donors. Okay, we are only increasing our donors. We are not worried about the acceptors. Okay, let us say it is not a compensated semiconductor, it is a pure extrinsic semiconductor with only one kind of dopants. So what is going to happen? Initially when your concentration is 10 to the power 12, it is very close to your intrinsic carrier concentration. Not very, very close, but still close enough. Okay, so your Fermi level will be somewhere here. Now if you slowly increase your N-type concentration, what is going to happen to your Fermi level?
Moves toward EC.
It will move towards EC. Okay, so it will look something like this. As you are increasing your carrier concentration, your EF is going to, please understand that this is not a single material. Okay, I'm changing, so it may appear like the band diagram of a single material. It is not like that. Okay, I'm changing my material. Okay, and I'm just doing a plot. Okay, this is how individual Fermi, if your doping concentration, if your doping was 10 to the power 17, then your Fermi level will look something like this. It will not be exactly like this. It will be a little more complicated than that. It will be something like this, or okay. So as you move higher and higher in concentration, and your dopant concentration, not dopant, donor, I always confuse between dopant and donor. So as you increase your donor concentration, your Fermi level will become closer and closer to your conduction band. Now similar thing will happen if instead of ND you had NA. Okay, this is how it is going to change. If instead of donors you had acceptors of similar concentration, you will have a similar plot on the lower side. As you are increasing your acceptor concentration, it will become closer and closer to your valence band. Okay. So let us do an example. So if we take silicon, okay, and I take temperature of 700 Kelvin. Okay, if my temperature is 700 Kelvin, what will be your, and I dope it with Na is equal to 10 to power 16 per centimeter cube. Okay, so I have a silicon and I have doped it with acceptors with a concentration of 10 to power 16 per centimeter cube. Please find out the value of N0 and P0 at this particular temperature. So how are you going to do it? What is going to assume? We assume that our Eg stays constant. Okay, Eg stays constant with T. So what are you going to do in this particular question? I don't want to solve it fully here because it is going to take a long time. So what are you going to do here?
We'll calculate ND.
Huh?
ND, small ND.
Small ND.
Equal to capital small NP, NA.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Sir, capital NA is given, so we will calculate small NP.
We don't need to do that. The reason for not doing that is because we already know that at room temperature itself, all the acceptor levels are ionized. Okay, we already know that. So if you increase the temperature, they are going to be ionized anyway. Okay, somebody is saying something on the chat. कैसे देखते हैं chat को? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. So they are going to be ionized anyway, so that is not a consideration. So we already know that your Na minus is going to be equal to Na. That is not a problem. Okay, we already know that. Because at room temperature itself, 300 Kelvin itself, all of the acceptors have already accepted electrons, so they are going to do it at higher temperature anyway. Okay. So the problem is when you reduce the temperature, then only your ionization reduces. Okay, at higher temperatures, the ionization, because your electrons have higher energy as you increase the temperature. So if you are able to ionize everything at T is equal to 300 Kelvin, at higher temperatures, you are going to ionize even more. You cannot ionize even more because you already ionized everything. Okay, so your Na minus is going to be equal to Na plus. So that is not the problem. So what he was saying, we had talked about PA in the last class. That is not required to do here because we already know that everything is going to be ionized. We do not need to do this detailed calculation. Other than that, what calculation do we need to do?
Sir, we need to calculate Ni.
Calculate Ni. Ni is going to change with temperature, as we have already previously discussed. Okay, so at T is equal to 700 Kelvin, Ni is approximately let us say 2. Okay, 2 into 10 to the power 16 per centimeter cube. Okay, there is a graph given in the book. I'm using that graph to estimate the value of Ni. Okay, they have a plot. I can probably share with you guys. I'll share it on your on Moodle. Okay, that particular graph from the book. If you don't have the book, then you can look at that particular graph. From that graph, I am finding out the value of Ni at this particular temperature. Now, if it were room temperature, then Na was 10 to the power 16. Okay, and at room temperature, the value of Ni was approximately 10 to the power 10. So 10 to the power 16 is much larger than 10 to the power 10. So we could directly say that N0 is equal to 10 to the power what?
16.
Sorry, not N0, P0. P0 is going to be 10 to the power 16. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But in this case, what do we have? Ni is comparable to
Na.
Na. Okay, Ni is comparable to Na, so you have to apply the equation, the square root, जो quadratic का solution आया था, we have to apply that. Okay, so the solution of the quadratic was, so you had minus, so P0 is going to be equal to 10 to the power 16 plus square root of 10 to the power 32 plus 4 times Ni squared. Ni squared is again 4 into 10 to the power 32 divided by 2. Okay, so it becomes P0 is equal to root 17 plus 1 into 10 to the power 16 by 2. Okay, that will be the value of P0. And what will be the value of N0? N0 की value क्या होगी?
Ni square by P0.
Yeah, Ni squared by P0. So rational function का क्या होता है? रूट 17 माइनस 1 हो जाएगा या नहीं होगा?
Yes, sir.
नहीं, गलत बोल रहा हूँ मैं कुछ. Any case, Ni squared is equal to 10 to the power 30. It's not Ni squared. N0. N0 is going to be 10 to the power 4 into 10 to the power 32 divided by 10 to the power 16 into 2 divided by root 17 plus 1. Okay, multiply by root 17 minus 1 and root 17 minus 1. जो मैं बोल रहा था वही आ जाएगा शायद. So then you multiply these two, you will get 17 minus 1. Okay, 17 minus 1 is 16. So 16, so this becomes 4 and this becomes 16. This becomes 2. हाँ वही आ गया जो मैं बोल रहा था पहले. Root 17 minus 1 into 10 to the power 16 by 2 per centimeter cube. Always please write down the units. मैंने खुद गलती कर दी है, but it is please always write down the units of any quantity. Okay. So that is your example of how we started. So if we were to look at this particular material at room temperature, what was it appearing like? It was a very, very strongly doped, what kind of material?
P-type
क्या था?
material.
P-type material. Okay, very strongly doped P-type material. Now it is acting like a very, 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 very lightly doped P-type material. Okay, because your P0 is very close to Ni. Okay, P0 is very close to Ni and Ni is slightly smaller than Ni. Okay, so it is a very lightly doped P-type material now. Okay, it was a very heavily doped P-type material initially, and upon increasing the temperature, it is acting like a lightly doped P-type material. So that is why temperature is an enemy of your semiconductor chips. Okay, because your p-type materials no longer stays that p-type if you increase the temperature. Okay, you started with 10 to power 17, 10 to power 17 compared to what? So 10 to power here 10 to power 16 compared to what? Compared to 10 to power 10. Okay, if your Ni becomes 10 to power 11, so now your doping is effectively 1/10 smaller than the doping that you had at room temperature. Okay, so as you are increasing the temperature, your effective doping is doping, you can say that effective doping is becoming smaller. Okay, is everybody okay with this?
Yes, sir.
So if you increase the temperature of your chip, you are effectively making it less p-type and at the same time less n-type also. Okay, the same analysis can also be applied if this were instead of Na, if this were Nd, then you will see that this becomes less n-type also. Okay, if it was an n-type material, it becomes less n-type. If it was a p-type material, it becomes less p-type. So if you had a p-n junction which had certain difference or means certain doping on the p side, certain doping on the n side, effectively you have reduced the doping on both sides. So your current voltage characteristics are going to be obviously very different because it is no longer that p-type or that n-type. Okay, so that is all we have for today's class. So I'm going to take a 5 minutes break and then we'll start with our tutorial. Does anybody have a question in tutorials? Or any question at all? Okay, in any case, I'm going to take a break for 5 minutes. I'll start again because if I ask, then nobody will say yes, yeah, I have a question. But so we are going to stay here for 1 hour anyway. Okay, we are going to stay here for 1 hour. If you have a question, please ask. Otherwise, we'll just sit and chit chat. Okay, but we are going to stay for 1 hour because I know अगर मैं कहूँगा कि कोई question है तो तुम सब लोग ये बोलोगे हाँ मेरे पास कोई question नहीं है क्योंकि जल्दी से जल्दी हमें छोड़ो. That is not going to happen. So please ask questions. Okay, that is the goal of the next session that we are going to have after 5 minutes. So I'm going to take a break for 5 minutes and then we'll continue. Okay. What?
The audio in YouTube is quite less. Like I was watching before in YouTube, the audio is quite less there. Like it's not audible at all.
Is it?
Yes, sir. And that is why I switched to Teams again because like suddenly the audio in YouTube dropped.
Is lost?
So it dropped. Like it was normal before and then suddenly it became quite low, the audio in YouTube.
How long ago?
It's almost been like half an hour, I guess.
So why didn't you should have told me earlier, no? So I could have done something. Please do it next time
Right.
onwards. Okay. Okay, thank you. Is it okay now? Anybody on YouTube, can you verify? Is it okay now?
Yes, sir, it is okay on YouTube.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll continue after 5 minutes.